Alrighty, everybody. Hello. Hello and welcome. How's everyone today? Welcome to this lovely new release premiere day. Um, and being quite frank, everyone, welcome to a day that may be the final new release day in a while. If you really start to look at what's going on in the world and everything, sadly, most of us have been in lockdown now for several weeks. Me, it's been about 3 weeks, just under a month at this point. And most of us are in the same situation, or we're heading into that situation, right? Sadly, that means that a lot of the new game releases that were slated to come out more than likely in the next couple of months probably are going to get delayed. We already saw some of this with The Last of Us 2, and I guarantee you we're probably going to see more. And there's not a heck of a lot that any of us can do about it. We're just going to be accepting it and waiting for everything to get better in regards to, COVID-19. What can you do, right? So today may very well be the last major new game release that we get for a long time. Now, in regards to my content, will it affect it? Yes. But will it affect it in a huge negative way? Doubtful. We have a good time no matter what I'm playing. It doesn't matter if I'm playing a game that's a brand new release, a game that came out a year or two ago that I missed out on and I'm catching up on, a game that's a replay of something I did, in the past, or maybe a game that I've just never played before, like a retro game that I'm playing for the first time. It doesn't seem to really matter. You guys like what I do no matter what, which is a great thing, and it's one of the great things about being a variety streamer, is having the ability to jump into any kind of a game at any time. I'm not one of these people who only plays a certain kind of game. I don't rely on big sponsorship bucks to be playing the new releases and stuff like that. That's a good thing. Okay? So, even though today may be the last final big new release for a while, I'm feeling confident. We're going to have more than enough stuff to play and to fill, my streams and to cover time. In fact, there's so much going on. There's been games that people wanted me to play for a while that I've been skipping out on, and now maybe would be an opportunity for me to, jump in and play those games that I haven't had a chance to play, right? But I digress. Today is the release of Final Fantasy VII Remake, a game that we have all been waiting for quite some time, finally being released. I'm excited for it, obviously, for multiple reasons, all right? There's many reasons why this is interesting to me in particular. First of all, Final Fantasy VII. Back when it came out on the PlayStation 1, I played it on release day. I lined up at GameStop to get the game on release day. I remember standing in line. I remember one of the people in line ahead of me furious because back then they didn't do formal pre-order bonuses. What they basically did is there were like these tie-ins that were first come, first serve. So if you were like one of the first 100 people or whatever to go to GameStop and pick up your copy, and by the way, it wasn't called GameStop back then. It was called Electronics Boutique, or EB Games. This is before they merged. But if you were like one of the first however many people to pick up the game at your local store, sometimes you get like a promotional tie-in. And I remember with Final Fantasy VII, it was some kind of a poster on one side. On the other side, it was like a map of the world or something like that. And I remember this guy who was in line ahead of me was so angry because he was told, oh, we just ran out. And he was like so ripping pissed. Oh, that's bullshit. I waited in line like everyone else. I don't get a poster. He got a poster. This was before the era of true pre-order bonuses, which is you pre-order the game and you get the bonus for free, guaranteed. And of course, this was before the era of digital pre-order bonuses. Everything was physical back then. So I just seriously remember this guy flipping out about it. So, yes, Final Fantasy VII Remake. So first of all, I played the game when it was new, brand new, and I remember being underwhelmed, and here's why. I actually felt the combat was great. I really liked the turn-based combat of the game. In fact, that was my favorite part of the game, was the materia system and leveling up your characters to know all the different magic, and you getting those stat boosts per the materia that you have equipped on your character and stuff like that. Like, I really liked that about the game, because it was very similar to the Esper system of Final Fantasy VI, okay? The music was kind of a mixed bag for me, all right? And the reason I say that is because some of it I thought was really good, like the boss theme, I actually really liked. But some of the other music didn't sound as good, in my opinion, as the soundtrack of Final Fantasy VI. Not to say that Nobuo Uematsu didn't, compose all the music. Indeed, he did. But apparently they had to sample the music in a different way in order to have it, be on the PlayStation. I don't know what it was. They mentioned that there was a different music system they used. So the music was good, but it wasn't like CD quality great music that I was expecting was going to be in the first Final Fantasy game on a console using CDs. But in particular, the reason I really didn't enjoy the game as much as everyone else, I didn't think the plot was as good as Final Fantasy IV or VI. I actually felt that the plot was far inferior, and I was struggling to actually find like a character who I liked a lot in the game. It just seemed to me like the characters who were the most interesting, like Red 13 or Vincent the Vampire, were basically an afterthought. Side characters kind of crammed in to say that they had a wide variety of characters, but in reality, the main characters of the game, like Cloud, I hate it. I was like, dude, I really don't like this character. He's like an emo bitch. He's the opposite of anyone who I would be interested in as a main character. I want nothing to do with Cloud. I hate this guy. Okay? So, for me, all right, I didn't really like the game, the plot of the game, okay? I actually really liked the gameplay. And I liked the fact that the world was, robust. You had these different varieties of towns and things you could go to. You had so different. It was really neat in that regard. But I was a humongous fan of Final Fantasy 4 and 6, and playing 7, I was like, I don't know, man. I'm kind of underwhelmed. But man, was this game overhyped at the time, because it was, for a lot of people, this was the first Final Fantasy that became mainstream. Before then, were they popular? Of course. But because PlayStation had launched, and PlayStation had become a worldwide phenomenon of a gaming console, this game was insanely overrated, in my opinion. Everyone's kissing its butt. Oh, it's the best Final Fantasy ever. Well, I don't know about that, but people were all saying kissing its ass, and it was hilarious that for a lot of people, this was its first Final Fantasy ever, and they never really played the ones before it, So, it is what it is. Listen, it is what it is. I didn't dislike the game, but I always felt this game was way overrated compared to other Final Fantasies, which I loved and adored because I grew up with them on the Super Nintendo, right? So, for years and years and years, I always heard people kissing the game's ass. Now, I've played this game multiple times. I played it when it was new, and then years later, it actually came out on PC. And I got it for PC, and I actually played it at least 2 times through on PC. And every single time I played it, I felt the same. Man, I love the combat. The music is good. But man, I really don't like the story of this game. Every time I felt the same, all right? So now that this remake is out, for me, I'm excited because it seems they're actually giving insane amounts of time to story development. They're actually adding in new characters, tons of new dialogue and plot, things that I felt would have made the game more interesting and worthy of the hype that it got. Okay? So I'm actually very excited. I'm hoping that this game will live up to expectations for me and maybe make this super interesting and fun, because again, there was, for me, it was a 50-50 split, while everyone else was literally salivating about this game and kissing its ass so badly when it was a new release. So let's see what happens. For me, it's kind of a very interesting experiment in what's going to happen with remakes. Because you say a remake, you think, oh, they're just going to remake the exact same game, but that's not what they've done here. I mean, will it have similar enemies and bosses? Yes. But they've added in a ton of new content to make a game that potentially would have been 10 to 15 hours into a 40-hour game. So, let's see what happens. I'm very excited to see how this turns out, okay? Now, today, major stream is Final Fantasy VII, okay? Tomorrow, my major stream will be Final Fantasy VII. On Monday, my major stream will be Final Fantasy VII. And then what we're going to do is we're going to balance Final Fantasy VII with Neo 2. And it was funny because I was talking with some people last night on stream who know about Neo 2. And I was asking them, potentially how far am I into the game? And they were like, well, we haven't really counted officially, but you're probably about 8 to 10 story missions in, like major story missions. And the game has 20 major story missions and like 56 side missions. I was like, what the hell? Seriously? Like, yes, the game has insane amounts of content. So in reality, I'm not even halfway through Neo 2 yet. That's insane. That's like insanely long. So, what I'm going to be doing is giving a lot of attention to Final Fantasy VII this weekend. And then moving forward, I'm going to balance Final Fantasy VII Remake with Neo 2 so that we get a good variety of stuff here on the streams. Excuse me. I am well aware that there's a group of my viewers that don't like RPGs at all. And just because this is an RPG, they don't care that it's a new release hype. They're just going to be like, meh, I don't want to see Phil play this. So they're going to want to see other stuff. And that's why I'm going to try to do variation. Now, also going on right now, if you guys aren't aware, it's the Viewer's Choice voting. So, I'm not sure what's going on with that because I haven't checked on it in a while. But you guys need to keep voting for Viewer's Choice. Please, keep voting. All right, especially if you have not. Your votes could completely flip this thing on its head because not a lot of people have voted overall. All right, at least last time I checked, okay? And the voting will be open at the earliest it's going to end is Sunday. What I'm going to do is take a look at it over the weekend and see what's going on with the voting, and I'll let you guys know. It's probably going to close in the next week at some point. And then we're going to determine what the Viewer's Choice playthroughs are. What I'll do is alternate. I'll probably start with one and balance it with everything we're doing. And then once we get a good tear into that or we finish up one of the games I'm playing, then we'll bring in another one. Okay? So I'll let you know, once I get a chance to look at it. So we'll go from there. But there's going to be some good variation, I get the feeling, on the streams. All right? So it's going to be Final Fantasy VII and Neo 2 for this week. And then probably the next week we're going to squeeze in and balance with a Viewer's Choice game. Okay? So please, again, if you have not voted on the Viewer's Choice, please do. Type ! Viewer's Choice into the stream chat to bring up the link to do that. Okay? Okay, so let's talk. Schedule-wise, today, Final Fantasy VII Remake right here on this very first premiere stream. And then later tonight, Street Fighter. Throwback Street Fighter fun. 2 hours of old school Street Fighter right here on the stream. Should be fun. That's around 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. Let's hope that we get good connections because last week was a disaster where the servers were crashing and everything. So let's hope that it actually works this week. Okay? Tomorrow, more Final Fantasy VII Remake. And tomorrow night will be my weekly session of Morrowind. Okay? Elder Scrolls 3. On Sunday, we'll mix it up a bit and we'll do some Neo 2. And then Sunday night will be my weekly, well, not my weekly, it'll be Animal Crossing New Horizons Bunny Day event because Sunday is actually Easter Sunday. Okay? And so, because Easter Sunday is a special event in Animal Crossing called Bunny Day, I want to play Animal Crossing on Bunny Day to see what kind of stuff actually happens. So we're going to be doing that Sunday night. That should be exciting. And then on Monday, it'll be more Final Fantasy VII Remake and my weekly Minecraft chill stream. For those who like my Minecraft stuff, you're definitely going to want to check this out. All right? And here's why. The Minecraft stream on Monday, not only am I going to be finishing up resource gathering from last week, but it looks like I may be going to the Nether. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I may be going to the Nether. Something that you guys have asked about for a million years. It looks like I may do it. I just need to basically make a new set of armor because my armor is falling apart. But I may be going to the Nether. Alright? So, we'll see what happens on Monday. Rob Kelly says, I'll pray for you. You better. Because the Nether is a deadly place, as we know from experience from my Minecraft streams. Every time I go there, there's some bad stuff that happens. Seriously. So, that should be the week's schedule. Now, Tuesday I'm off from streaming, but I'll be back on Wednesday with more Final Fantasy VII Remake. Wednesday will probably be Warzone. All right. Thursday, I'll probably go back to Neo 2, and we'll do some Animal Crossing. And then basically what we'll do, like I said, we'll alternate during the course of the week. back and forth. I foresee this next week being an alternation between Final Fantasy and Neo 2. And then, once we finally get that viewer's choice poll, settled, we'll see what's going to be the first game that I'm going to be doing for viewer's choice. Fair enough? All right, that should be exciting. I hope this sounds good to all of you guys. All right, now, also, I just want to say again, guys, thank you so much for the overwhelming amount of support you've been giving me lately. We are on a 22 straight stream streak of hitting the tips goal and me putting on the vest as a celebratory measure. That's insanity. That's crazy awesome positive. Thank you guys for that. It's helping tremendously. Like, no exaggeration. All this, the funds that have been coming in are going to pay things behind the scenes every day. It's paying bills, clearing taxes, and all kinds of stuff. It's helping me tremendously. So thank you for this support, this ongoing vest support. It's insanity. I never expected that it would go this long. Officially, as of last night, during the Animal Crossing stream, we beat The Undertaker's WrestleMania streak with the vest streak. Now, I don't know how much longer on this is going to go. All right? I'm being honest. I know it can't last forever, but I'm obviously super excited to see how long it lasts. You guys have obviously loved the stuff I'm putting out, and you want to see this continue. So thank you for that. We've already started talking about ideas of things that I can do after the vest streak ends that maybe will motivate people to continue to contribute. Some people said maybe a sunglasses or something else. So thank you. Please continue to think about things that, would be cool for the stream as a way of celebrating people, positively contributing. All right. But for now, the vest streak remains strong. If we hit the tips goal for today, yes, I will put on the vest. By the way, it's not going to be easy. It's very hot in my office right now. Like right now, I'm not even exaggerating. It's pretty crazy. It's hot as shit in my office. Like, I left my window open overnight because I wanted this office to air out overnight. I just walked into the office like an hour ago. And I'm like, dude, it's fucking hot in here. The sun is already beating on the office wall and has been for an hour. I have my window all the way open. I have my blinds closed to stop the sun from creating heat. And I have my fan on max. I'm already sweating. I haven't even booted the game yet, and I'm already sweating. But I will put on the vest. If we do hit the tips goal, I'll tough it out. Since you guys seem to like it so much, I'll suffer through it, and we'll do it. Okay, guys? And yes, before people say, why don't you put in your air conditioner? I can't. I don't have the materials I need to put the air conditioner into the window. I need to get insulation and tape to do it that I don't have. I'd have to go to like Home Depot and Lowe's to buy that stuff, which I haven't had a chance to do. I never even considered that I need to put in the air conditioner this early this year. Why we have a straight week of straight sun with not a cloud in the sky, I have no fucking clue, because we're supposed to have April showers here in spring, and we have none. It's been pure sun and heat. So I don't know what's going on with the weather here. It seems pretty unseasonal. Unseasonably sunny and warm. So okay. So anyway, yes, if we hit the tips goal today, I will put on the vest. I hope that we can continue the streak going. All right. Let's move on to the next segment of the pre-stream, which is the gratuitous plugs. I'd like to say thank you guys for 11 awesome years of being a content creator who can share his daily gameplay experiences with all of you here on the internet. I absolutely love what I do for a living, and I'm incredibly grateful that I'm given the opportunity on a daily basis to do what I love for my job. I realize how insanely lucky I am that is the case, because most people don't get that. Most people do not get to do what they love for a living. And in addition to that, I am lucky that I can still do this during this whole lockdown situation that the world is in. I'm able to still be here every day and provide fun gameplay streams for all of you guys. And I really appreciate that. I like the fact that I'm doing a service. That's what people are telling me. Phil, you're doing a good service to us. Being here every day, putting out your fun streams, because you're distracting us from the stress and all the stuff that's going on in the real world. I really appreciate that, guys. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to put out positive, fun gameplay experiences for all of you, so that you can come here and relax with me and not be stressed out about what's going on in the outside world. That's what I'm doing this for. Okay? So thank you for that. Now, please, excuse me. Please note that in the modern day here, even though I've been around the block for 11 years doing content creation in various different methods, I am very much a full-time live streamer, okay? And that means that I rely pretty much solely on crowdfunding. You guys, being very supportive during the streams. That's how I keep things going around here. It's your contributions during my live streams that allow me to afford the cost of games, pay all my utilities, pay taxes, pay bills, health insurance, everything, grocery shopping. It's all because of you guys being supportive during the streams. That's my life's blood. All right? It's not like back in the day when I used to just throw YouTube videos out on YouTube and people would watch and ad revenue, would be sufficient. It's not like that at all anymore. Okay? It's all about the crowdfunding during the streams. So up front, thank you guys very much to anyone who considers contributing during any of my live streams. I appreciate that very much. But before I even mention a single way that you guys could contribute if you'd like, what I'd like to say up front is that contributions are not mandatory. Please know that, I'm perfectly happy just to be hanging out with you guys and having fun gameplay experiences with you on a daily basis. That's what it's all about. Gaming has been my lifelong hobby. I made YouTube videos for 2.5 years on YouTube before I ever monetized a single piece of gameplay. And I only did that because I lost my office job. I never intended to ever make this into a job. I just fell into it due to circumstances. And I would continue to stream. All right? I would continue to stream. Hold on a second. There we go. I would continue to stream. Even if I were not able to do it in a full-time capacity for a living, I would still do it because I love doing it so much. I love the interactions we have. I really feel this is a good social experience every day, and it's a positive one that people get value out of, so I would want to keep doing it, okay? So please understand, I don't do this to make a buck, even though obviously it is the way that I make a buck and it is the way that I make a living. That's not why I do it, okay? And I appreciate every single one of you coming by and hanging out. So understand that contributions are not mandatory at all. If you cannot contribute in any way on my streams, that's fine. Don't feel like the odd man out. Don't feel like, oh man, I didn't help out Phil today. That's not what it's all about. It's not about that. It's about us having a good time with games, period. Okay? And my philosophy is, if I'm putting out a fun, positive stream, if I'm entertaining all of you and we're doing a good job, then guess what? The contributions are going to come in naturally. I don't have to sit here and harp on it and talk about it constantly. I mention all the plugs on my pre-stream. I get it out of the way. And then for the rest of the day, we can focus on gameplay and fun stuff and interactions together and not have to worry about, plugs and, oh man, it's slow and stuff like that. Never. I just relax and we have a good time together and naturally the support comes. I love that way more than what I used to have to do. Seriously. Like, it used to be so different when I used to do content, and now it's so much more fun and organic and just natural. So thank you for that, guys. Thank you very much for all of your support. So, that all being said, now let's talk about ways, if you would like to go above and beyond being a standard stream viewer and contribute, ways that you could contribute. All right? First of all, I have a Patreon at patreon.com/darksidephil, where your monthly pledges earn you personal perks. All right? It's a way of saying thank you for pledging to my Patreon campaign. Please give it a look if you have not yet before. If you are a current pledgee, thank you so much for the ongoing support. It is much appreciated. And, again, thanks for even giving it a look. I have a Teespring store where I sell all kinds of fun merchandise. In particular, it's t-shirts. But there's other stuff there, too, like hoodies and sweatshirts and the like. I've actually heard through the grapevine, actually directly from a few designers who have designed for me in the past, that they're thinking of doing some new designs for my Teespring shop in the near future. That's cool because guess what? It's been a long time. It's been over a year since I updated my Teespring shop because I don't have really anything new to put up there. And that's fine. But now we may have some new products going up there soon, which would be pretty cool, right? So, pretty nice. And give it a look. That's teespring.com/stores/DSPGaming. If you get something from my Teespring shop, you get a cool collectible, and it helps me out a little bit. So please give it a look. Now, if you're here live on the stream, and you would like to contribute in a way that would get you some recognition on the streams, You can either cheer with bits, or you can subscribe to my channel, or you can tip me. You can do one of those three things, okay? And if you do one of those three things, I will not only give you a live shout out, but you'll get some live recognition for that contribution as well. Now, please understand, your shout out message must be in line with the rules of the stream, which means no insults, no trying to get me to say stuff that'll get me in trouble on Twitch, no derailing of the stream with ridiculous topics that have nothing to do with the game or anything we're doing, no giant paragraphs, no song lyrics. I could go into detail here. You could just check the rules for yourself, all right? And, in general, it's usually a pretty good experience. Interaction is a huge part of my positive part of my streams. So, thank you for that. Now, as you can see at the top of the screen, there's a stream stats leaderboard. All right? And this leaderboard tracks things like top cheer and top tip of the stream. So it's another way for you to get recognized. And in addition to that, there's 2 other leaderboards that are integrated into Twitch. Top cheerer of the week, as well as how many subs were gifted during the week and who gifted the most. So again, big opportunities for you to get recognized for your contributions. And we will read those out in just a moment to give credit where credit is due. Okay? Very nice. Now, out of all the things I just mentioned, you may be saying, well, all right, Phil, you just mentioned a ridiculous amount of ways you can contribute. What's the best way? The best way is by tipping me. For 2 reasons. First of all, when you tip me, those are funds I get immediately. I can put them towards something right now that's important. Like, for example, coming up in this week, I have condo dues due, and I have 2 utility bills coming up that are both large, and they both are coming up before I get paid by Twitch for the month. So, matter of factly, your tips between now and next week are going to pay those bills. Okay? So, that's what I mean. That's why tips are the best way to support. I can immediately put it towards important stuff. Now, if you do other methods of contribution, cheering, subbing, Teespring, etc., those are all great. They all help me in the long term, but there is a delay between when I get a positive benefit from those because they all have processing time, while tips do not. Tips I can literally put towards something right now if I need to, okay? So, please consider tipping me if you can. Oh, by the way, the other positive benefit of tipping is that we can continue on with the Vest streak. At 22 straight streams, we can keep it going, all right? Which would be amazingly positive, and I would appreciate that a ton, okay? So, please consider tipping me if you can. There are 2 ways you can tip. Below the stream, there's a tips jar button you can click on, or you can just type !tip into the stream chat. Either way, it takes you to my PayPal tips page. On that page, you can either tip with a registered PayPal account if you already have one, or you can actually use a regular, debit or credit card, much like you would pay for anything else on the internet, but you may not see that option readily available. Usually you need to be on the fully loaded desktop version of the site for that to show up. So if you can't see it and you're on a mobile device, you may want to enable it to load the full desktop version, or just jump on a desktop computer and you should be able to do that. Okay? Now, as a PSA, all right, something that I feel is very important to my viewers. I want you guys to be protected, and I want you to have a good time when you're on my streams and not feel any negative repercussions as a result of watching anyone's stream or contributing to anyone's stream. So please listen up. First of all, if you're on twitch.tv and you are an avid viewer of my stream or anyone else's, I strongly recommend you turn off your direct messages on Twitch. Sadly, there's an element of people out there who use direct messages on Twitch as a way to harass people, as a way to scam people. They'll send you a link, you click on it, next thing you know, they're trying to log your shit or send you to some nasty site that tracks your stuff. They'll send you all kinds of derogatory, defamatory stuff about certain people. There's no point in having your messages open on Twitch. I've been on here for many years, and it's mostly just people to harass and to scam. So I recommend there's a setting where you can just turn off your direct messages on Twitch, or you can set it that only friends can send you DMs. That's perfect. If someone's on your friend list, you trust them, obviously they should be able to DM you, but you don't want just anyone just doing it because so many people abuse the system. All right, that's number 1. Number 2, sadly, there are people who on the internet will take the opportunity, all right, to harass people just because they can get away with it anonymously. They will harass you on the internet, and they somehow feel some kind of validation out of doing that. As crazy as that sounds, it's true. There's people who are like that. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because many of us have so much personal information on the internet and don't even realize it. I mean, just on your social media accounts, you may have things like your friends, your family members, the places you like to hang out, where you work, your likes and dislikes. This is all personal information that could very much be used against you in a negative capacity. All right. So be diligent about what you put out there on the internet because of these element of people who would like to maybe just latch on to that information and harass you if they can. In particular, if you're going to contribute during today's stream, I strongly recommend that you hide your identity. And what I mean by that is, let's say you're going to tip me. Don't use your real name. Make up a name that has nothing to do with you or your social media accounts, or just tip anonymously. If you do that, that way no one will be able to link it to you and come after you and harass you on the internet just because you decided to support a streamer. Okay? So that's my recommendation. I hope you take it to heart. I hate hearing stories of, someone got harassed on the internet today because they had all this private information that was actually public on their social media, and now people are, basically giving them living hell. I hate that. So please be diligent and protect yourselves, guys, okay? Alrighty then. So, continuing on. The rules of the stream, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I am streaming on twitch.tv. That is a business where I need to abide by all the rules and regulations of said business. So please understand, I cannot just say and do whatever the heck I want on my streams. I do have to, go by their regulations. I hope you guys understand that. But in addition to that, there's also my own set of rules, my own code of conduct, for example, that I like to live by so that I can maintain what I call a chill stream vibe. And please allow me to explain what that means. I want my streams to be a place where you can hang out and have fun. You can see my honest reaction to whatever game I'm playing. Maybe have some interaction with me or other stream viewers. And in general, unplug from the stresses of reality. Right now, we all need a way to unplug from reality because we are on a daily basis scared about what's going on in the world. We don't know how much longer we'll all be on lockdown. We need a way to escape all that crap and just have a good time together on a stream. And that's what I'm trying to do with my gameplay streams. So I hope you understand that. And because of that, there's certain rules that I put into effect that hopefully heighten that experience so we don't get into negativity and drama and arguments and derailing. And instead, we can all just have a positive and fun time. Okay? All right. First off, please understand that in the 11 plus years that I have been a content creator, I have found that the topics of politics and religion are incredibly argumentative. They just get people very angry with each other. People are divided on these topics. They can't agree to disagree. And in general, every time that they become a topic of discussion on a gameplay stream, they derail the stream. Okay? Maybe one day this will change, but sadly, I just have not seen any evidence that politics or religion should be a part of any of my gameplay streams, period. Now, if we're playing a game that has political or religious ties, and we want to bring up those topics as a way to talk about the plot of the game, that's fine as long as it's in context. I can tell you right now, Final Fantasy VII very heavily has political context. You're fighting against the evil Shinra Empire as part of the rebels. Oh, it's a political storyline, right? So that's okay. But please don't derail the stream with these topics and get people arguing with each other. We just want to have a good time on the stream. All right, now, recently, I've expanded this rule to cover also the topic of the current worldwide pandemic of COVID-19. Now, here's the thing. I'm well aware this is the biggest topic in the world, but we are all bombarded by news about this a million times a day, every single day. And it looks like there's no stopping it, in sight. Looks like this may continue for some time. Since that's the case, please understand that there are people who are coming to a stream like mine to escape that. They want to get away from that reality and have a good, relaxing time. They don't want to now be talking about it constantly in the stream chat. Like, why are we playing Final Fantasy VII, but everyone's talking about a pandemic? You see what I mean? So please, do your best to not derail the stream and talk about it constantly. I'm not going to ban discussion of it. That would be incredibly stupid. But at the same time, if we notice that the entire stream is just talking about it constantly, then mods and I may have to take some action. Okay? Now, in addition to that, I am well aware there are people on the internet who on a daily basis do nothing but try to insult me, bully me, defame and slander myself and my family members, and in general, try to make up conspiracy theories based on maybe little nuggets or snippets of truth and spin them into insanely outlandish theories for the sake of drama views on YouTube. They do this because, number one, they benefit from it. They get clickbait views. They can make money on doing this. And number two, because there's no way for me to defend myself against it. I have no money to sue these people for defamation. Therefore, they know they can get away with it because YouTube doesn't do a fucking thing about it. As screwed up as that sounds, they just don't care. So, for me, I just kind of say, listen, I'm aware that it exists. All right? These sick, toxic people who do nothing but bring people down. I'm not like that. I'm someone who's a positive content creator. I want to bring people up with fun and positive gameplay, good interactions during the streams, and having a good positive time. That's what I do. I'm not going to sit here and focus on all the negative schlubs out there who just want to bring people down and think that that's some kind of a way to make a living or that's some kind of a respectable thing to do. It's not. It's completely immoral and disgusting and toxic, and it really ruins, culture in a way. But there's nothing I can do about it. So we have strict rules that we do not bring this up on my streams for two reasons. First of all, if you bring up that stuff going on, all you're doing is derailing the positivity of my stream. If we're all having a good time with a game, last thing we want to hear about is some jackass insulting me or saying something stupid about me and my family again for the upteenth time. We're tired of hearing it. Number two, that gives undue attention to those people. People might have to go, I want to go check that out. Next thing you know, they fall down the rabbit hole of toxicity, and that's the last thing we want, someone coming to a positive stream and being bombarded with this negativity. So, that's why it is strictly against the rules to bring up any of that stuff. I only bring it up on the pre-stream so you guys understand why it's not allowed, and then we don't bring it up again. Period. Okay? So thank you very much for understanding that. Okay? All right. Now, let us guys give shout-outs in the final... Well, actually, this is the final segment of the pre-stream. This is the shout-out segment. This is where I say thank you to those of you who contributed. We update the leaderboards for a bit, and we actually have a good time having some discussions before we get into the gameplay. Okay? So, let's talk. First of all, 4335 resubscribed for 11 months in a row and said Final Fantasy. And then you get a bunch of emotes. Yes, I'm excited as well. Thank you, for the ongoing support. 11 months of subs. Charles Lemillion subscribed to the channel as well. Thank you, Charles. I appreciate that support. And I hope you enjoyed today's stream. Snow Carl got the cheering started with a 50-bit cheer. He says, do you agree with me that The Last of Us is overrated, vanilla cookie cutter, boring game? No, I feel exactly the opposite. When The Last of Us first came out, I thought it was a groundbreaking, revolutionary way to enhance a narrative with both, interesting, riveting gameplay and suspense. I think that everything in that game was amazing. Best graphics of a game on PS3, amazing story, great writing and presentation, and also good gameplay. Like, I thought it hit it on all fronts, and I really enjoyed that game. Okay. OG Rascal Cheered, he said, many viewers have learning disabilities, but we follow along fine. I have no idea what you're talking about, but thank you for the cheer. OG Rascal cheered again and said, since Seattle was the initial outbreak of COVID, do you think that puts you guys back on track for a normal life soon? No. Because here it was a lot more widespread than it was in other places, and it was a lot worse because it was one of the initial outbreak areas. However, what we're hearing is that maybe the curve may be flattening more quickly here because it happened earlier. But at the same time, do I think life is going to get back to normal anytime soon? No, at least for us, I would think probably we won't see an end to a lockdown until like sometime in May. And even then, there's still going to be restrictions. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I still think there's going to be like, stay away from people if you can anyway. Keep wearing a mask anyway. Like, I think it's still going to be changing. Things are just going to change in general. Stores will open again, and that'll be, restaurants will open, stores will open again. But I think we're going to see these distancing restrictions no matter what. And of course, one of the things is they're saying even once these restrictions are lifted for the first time, there may be waves where we have to do this at months at a time. Maybe later on this year, we have to do another 2-month lockdown to stop it again, and then we can lay off again. You see what I mean? So, I don't know. I'm not an expert, but it seems like we got a long way to go. Cold Zero cheered. We ever played Just Dance game? No. King Woken tipped me $1.30 and says, Phil, during your scheduling and advertising, Yaska sounds good or fair enough. Could you consider waiting 3 or 4 seconds for our input? We have a Twitch delay. It would be nice to see if we had some positive feedback. I do take your feedback. You're absolutely right. There is a big Twitch delay. In fact, it's more than 4 or 5 seconds. It's more along the lines of 15 to 30 seconds, depending on the day. I've noticed that some days it seems like you guys react more quickly, and other days, like, there's just a big-ass delay for whatever reason, probably because of the internet quality that day or whatever. Who knows? But in general, I do weigh your feedback, and I do listen to it, but I can't just sit here for a minute to 2 minutes waiting for feedback and have dead silence. Hope you understand I have to keep a stream moving. But I definitely, value your input, and please, by all means, send me your input, whether it's in the live in the stream chat, you can email me, you can tweet me, etc. Okay? Excuse me. Cold Zero cheered again. He said, will you ever do IRL streams with a lovely cat and your crazy Jasper? No plans on that anytime soon. Will it ever happen? I'm never going to write something off like that. Maybe it will eventually, but right now, absolutely not. Dooley has resubscribed for a whopping 50 months. Thank you, Dooley, for the overwhelming amount of support. He says, hope you and Kat are still holding on well during the difficult Corona time. Stay safe. We're doing our best, I'm still able to work. Kat is still able to work, but Kat is in a very high-risk situation where she works and interacts with people every day. So she's washing, she's hand sanitizing, she's doing what she needs to do. And so far, so good. Let's hope for the best continuing. Okay? Thank you. I hope you're safe, Dooley. You and your family. And thank you so much for the insanely long-standing support, man. It's good to see you. Elon Jusk tipped me $1, says Snow Carl wants a double Animal Crossing stream day. Even though that could be very viable, I really feel I could do enough in Animal Crossing to support a full day of it. You know what I mean? Because I play so little. I only play like 4 hours a week. And each 2-hour session, what do? A little bit of gathering here and there. I talk to a couple of villagers. I really don't get much done. It's really my wife who's playing the game, and getting the advancement of the island, while I'm basically just catching up. You see what I mean? I catch up on what she's been doing when I play. I don't think that we're going to be doing that anytime soon. In fact, I talked about this in the near future, meaning maybe within the next month. I need to start doing Minecraft as a major stream again, because we're behind on Minecraft projects. And I definitely feel that we do need to do a few major Minecraft streams to get caught up. And I do feel that, especially with the new releases that are going to be winding down soon, and it looks like we may not have many potential new releases for a while, now would be the time to do this. Okay? So, Snow Carl, even though you're incredibly adamant about having a full streaming day of Animal Crossing, I'm sorry to disappoint you, Snow Carl, the person who particularly suggested this and is campaigning for it in the stream chat, but it's just not going to happen. I'm very sorry about this. I know you're going to be very disappointed, Snow Carl, and I know that sadly now, you maybe you won't even tune in the streams anymore because this is all you wanted and campaigned for weeks, but I'm sorry that it's just not going to happen, man. I'm sorry. Snow Carl in particular who asked for it. By the way, I'm completely ribbing him because he didn't ask for it at all. Complete rib. Okay. FL Gibson did another 50-bit cheer. He says, what are the consequences for failing to continue the vest streak? None. There's no consequences for not hitting it. As I said, I'm incredibly grateful for the fact that you guys have been so supportive over the last 2 weeks and kept the vest streak alive. That's insanely outstanding and amazing. And I'm telling you guys, you don't even know how much it's been helping me behind the scenes. All right? But I know eventually it's going to end. It's not going to continue. It's going to eventually, all good things come to an end. And so we'll see what happens with that. And, what would be something else to motivate people or whatever. But for now, I'm just going to keep riding that positivity. Let's keep the streams fun. Let's keep it going. All right, guys? Sunken as Wholesale 69 tipped me $1 and basically says, why do I take obvious troll bait cheers and tips during streams? Well, first of all, I don't intentionally do it most of the time. What you guys may not realize is how difficult it is to sift through stuff when you're reading a live stream. I'm trying to play a game and maintain steady gameplay, but at the same time, I'm trying to interact with all of you, and I'm trying to give shout outs to people who contribute because I'm grateful. And sometimes I'll just read something. I'll be like, oh shit, well, that's pretty negative. I didn't mean to read it, but now I kind of have to address it. What am I going to do? Right? It's hard. It is. It's not easy to juggle all of this at once. It's hard enough to just play a game. Now I'm playing a game and interacting. Oh, now I'm giving shout outs. And now I'm trying to weed the shout outs for people who are trying to say insulting stuff. All right? It's not easy at all. So it's frustrating sometimes. I wish that there was a way to auto filter stuff so I didn't have to do it. But truth of the matter is, you're right. Sometimes people do say something negative or stupid, and it does derail the stream. I do my best to try to answer it in a way that we can keep the stream moving. Sometimes it's just a joke. Sometimes it's an honest answer. It all depends, In general, I get the feeling that they try to rile me up a lot, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But that's life, That's part of the whole live streaming interactive experience. I can't just say, oh, I'm just not going to respond to 80% of people today because I feel they're all trolls. That'd be ridiculous. That'd be some really paranoid shit when you really think about it. So, no, I'm not going to be paranoid and completely screen everything 100%. I'm just going to do my best. I'm going to continue to do it. And, I do feel that I do better at it. Over time, I do feel that I get better at it. When I first started this 3 years ago, I wasn't ready for it at all. Now we have so many safeguards in place that you can't have constant trolling on the stream, which is good. In general, people really enjoy the streams, and it doesn't seem to be much negativity around them, which is good. People come to the streams because the negativity has been cut off. I've gotten many compliments about the new mod staff. So I should say shout out to Straight Cash Homie, DRS Gangsta, and King Gokin, who have helped us out with streaming recently with the trolling, keeping the trolling to a minimum. All right. I do feel it's helped tremendously. So, thank you all for all of your support. Let's continue on. Straight Credit Card Homie tipped me $4.20. It says, Phil, I noticed when playing a game you say I didn't do that. If you didn't do it, then who did? I guess what I should say is I didn't intend to do that, or I didn't mean to do that. Now, I didn't do that, because chances are, in many games, all right, I did do that, I just didn't mean to. But, I'll be honest, in fighting games, I do feel that it is an accurate statement, and the reason is because in fighting games, the netcode can really negatively contribute to having things happen in the game you did not actually input, especially with modernized fighting games. The inputs are so lax, meaning they're so open. Like, you could do a specific move, and the game is so laggy, it gives you a different one altogether, and that's not your fault. So in fighting games, I think it applies. In other games, all right, maybe not so much. What I should say is I didn't intend to do that. I've been having some frustration, in particular with Neo 2, where I accidentally switch to the wrong stance or I get the wrong move because the controls are so complex. There's just so much to the control scheme of that game that I frequently do the wrong thing, and it's because my mind gets overwhelmed with the amount of shit in the game. Some people are giving me criticism saying, Phil, you unlocked all these stances with the switchblade you don't use. I mean, you're right, because it's too complicated. I'm already on the fly switching between two stances, doing two different combos, dodging, using magic, using healing items. Basically, by the way, manage my stamina meter, manage my yokai, or whatever it's called, anima meter, to transform and do that. My anima abilities. There's like already doing 10 things in my head. Now on top of that, I'm supposed to also remember that I got switchblade transformation stances in the middle. It's like, how complex can you make a fucking game? And for me, my mind doesn't work like that. So it's hard for me to remember all that shit. And so when I say, I didn't mean to do that, I mean, it's true, but is it necessarily the game's fault? Not really. It's usually me. It's a shortcoming of mine. But at the same time, that is a criticism of the game. That I maybe feel that the game is too complex and has too much going on, and it should be simplified to be easier for the player. All right? But if I say that during a fighting game, I very much mean it. Like I said, like tonight, I'll play Street Fighter. I guarantee you there will be matches where I'll be intending to do something and a completely different move will come out, even though I swear to God I didn't do that input. Because the netcode of fighting games is quite bad. Okay. Diaz P cheered and says, why don't you ever mention Patreon or Teespring? Are those not relevant to you? What are you talking about? I've mentioned just on this pre-stream, I mentioned both Patreon and Teespring and fully explain them. So I have no idea what you mean by that. Going above and beyond, tipped me $4.20 and says, at $200, go shirtless with the vest on. It'll help you with cooling off. No, I'm not doing that. But thank you for a $4.20 tip. You know, number one, I prefer to be able to stream on Twitch long term. It's not just about short term gains. And if I lose my ability to stream on Twitch because I go topless, that would be a bad thing. Number two, you guys need to retain your sight. In fact, it would be crazy because, you know, the only person immune to going blind from seeing that would be Super Blind Man. Everyone else would also go blind. So we can't do that. All right, continuing on. Moondog took me $1.30 and he says, did you not receive email regarding my ban? I was hoping to interact. Oh, I don't know, Moondog. You know what? Moondog? I think you did send me an email, but I don't think you sent me your name. Right? Let me see. If this is your name, let me see. Hold on. Okay, here he is. All right, let me take a look, dude. I think I found your account. All right, all right. Fair enough. In this case, your ban has been almost a year. And basically the reason that you were banned was because you were ribbing me on a game. So, all right. I'll unban you. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I think what it is, Moondog, you emailed me, but you didn't give me your name on Twitch. And I should actually call this out, guys. Okay, listen up. This is actually quite important for those of you who get banned and are looking to get unbanned, all right? If you're going to email me and request an unban, okay, I need your Twitch name. Please don't assume that I know what your Twitch name is. You need to 100% in the email tell me what your name on Twitch is. I'm not even exaggerating. Half the unban requests I get, the people don't give me their Twitch name. And it gets to the point where it's like, dude, I'm so fucking tired of responding, you didn't give me your Twitch name. I can't look into it without your Twitch name. It's just like, it's common sense. You send me your Twitch name. But some people don't do that for some reason. So please send me your name in the email. All right? But in particular, Moondog, yes, I just unbanned you. Welcome back. Okay. Deathproof42 gifted a sub to Sherry92. Congratulations to Sherry92. And thank you to Deathproof for the support. I appreciate that. Atrophied Slob did a 50-bit cheer and says, what are the last three selfless deeds you've done? Without any specifics, small donations. I donated a bunch of clothing. Well, that actually was a big donation. I donated a bunch of clothing and a couple donations here and there. Sometimes when you go to certain stores, they'll ask, hey, would you like to donate your change to a food bank? Hey, would you like to donate, $1 extra on your bill to help with this or that? And if I get presented with those opportunities and I can afford it, I actually usually do them. So that would be it. It would be I donated some clothes and I do those things. All right. But I'm not going to give you specifics. You know, I've told you guys, I feel for me, charity is something that should be private. It should not be something that's done publicly in the public eye to give positivity and promotion to something, which is why many times over the years when people do these public things like the Ice Bucket Challenge many years ago, I say, no, I'm not doing that because I don't feel that's how charity should be. My personal belief is that charity is something you do to help and get no personal benefit from whatsoever, period. And that's why I would never do like a charity thing like that. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't talk about it. I wouldn't tell you, oh, Phil, what's your favorite charity to support? I'm not going to tell you because that's not what it's about. Okay? That's how I've always been. That's always been my personal belief. I hope you guys understand that and respect that. All right, Baba Kazooie took me $1.30, and he says, are you glad that you didn't listen to trolls about finding a new job outside of your streaming gig? Can you imagine, in this situation right now, you wouldn't be able to travel to an office, and, your office would probably be closed because of risk exposure, and, imagine the risk to infecting your wife or your cat. You were right all along. Now, first of all, Baba Kazooie, first of all, all right, I consider myself insanely lucky. All right. There were 2 times in my life where I feel that I was in the right place and the right time for completely luck reasons. The first was when I first started on YouTube, right? I was a person who decided that I wanted to do improv style gameplay commentary on gameplay videos. And at that point, no one was doing it. Everyone was basically doing like walkthroughs and stuff, or they were like, oh, I'm an expert at a first person shooter, right? I definitely, I definitely feel that was luck. If I were not there at the right place at the right time, I would never have been popular, and I never would have been where I am today. I never would be able to do this for a living. All right? This right now is the other time when I feel I'm incredibly lucky. Because what were the chances that this weird job that I have, it's so weird and it's rare that someone would be able to do this for a living, that I'm able to do it during the pandemic. Like anything else that I would have been doing. If I still worked at helicopter support, I'd be out of a job right now. If I worked in a retail industry, I'd be out of a job right now. If I worked at a restaurant, I'd be out of a job. You see what I mean? Like, I'm so lucky. And that's what it is. It's luck. It's not anything planned. You know what I mean? It's just luck. And in life, sometimes you just got to accept luck when it comes. I'm incredibly grateful that I'm able to still put out these streams during the pandemic, guys. Seriously. So thank you for coming. And I hope that these streams give you, like I said, some kind of a little bit of an escape from all that negativity and this fear that we have right now in real life of what the hell's going to happen with our world, right? So, you know, I mean, do I think about it like that? No. You know, I don't think about it like that. I'm just grateful, you know. I don't think that anyone was right or wrong. I think that eventually I do have to transition out of this. There's no way I could do this full time for the rest of my life. I don't think that when I'm 50 years old, anyone is going to give a shit about what Phil's doing on stream. I'll be the old fart by then and no one will give a fuck, right? But at least for now, I'm grateful and lucky and happy. So, let's see here. Spurdos Padre took me $1.30. He says, all right, this is just stupid. It's a stupid meme. I'm just ignoring it. That was really stupid. Okay, continuing on. Snow Carl Charity says, do you think Seattle was hit as hard as it was with COVID-19 due to the massive amounts of homeless people, poor sanitary conditions caused by libshit policies? No, absolutely not. In fact, we know why. It's because there's a very heavy Asian population here in Seattle. This is one of the major hubs of the country where people come in from Asia. And as we know, that's where this all started, Asia. Those Asian countries were hit first, and then where the people are influxing from Asia is where we're going to get hit the hardest, and that's why we had it. There's a lot of different Asian cultures present in this region, and I'm sure there were people coming in from Asia, you know, visiting, coming back from trips and stuff, and that's what happened. It's very matter of fact. That's what happened. You know, it's not anyone's fault. You know, there's no blame or no finger to be pointed here. It's just matter of factly, heavy Asian population, heavy people coming in from Asia. This airport here that we have in Seattle is considered one of the two major hub airports in the United States for Asian travel. If you're going over to Asia, you go to the Seattle airport first. All the flights in the country usually divert to the Seattle airport, and then you'll transfer planes and fly from there to Asia. So that's why. It's just factual. There's idiots in the stream chat right now saying, Phil, just stop. Why? This is factual. Are you dumb? This is not prejudiced or cultural. This is factual that a lot of people here come in from Asia, and a lot of people go to Asia from Seattle. This is the hub airport of it. So that's where it came. What are you talking about? You're dumb fucks if you actually think this is offensive. You're a moron. All right, say goodbye to all these idiots. Boy, you're dumb. Let's see here. It's just like New York. Why do you think New York also was the other major hub? Because that's the melting pot of the United States. You got people coming in from all over the world into New York City on a constant daily basis. So of course that was going to be a hub of an outbreak. It's just, how do you think that facts are offensive? Seriously, like, how do you think facts are offensive? It's just hilarious that people are so offended by facts. Oh my God, a fact? It's true. This is not offensive to any culture. It's, no one's blaming anyone. It's a factual truth. Man, people are fucking stupid. Anyway, let's continue on. Matt Blorf tipped me $14.32. And that's the biggest tip of the day so far. He says, enjoy the game. Been watching you for over 8 years. I think it's time that I helped out where I can. Well, thank you, Matt. I'll get you on the leaderboard here. $14.32. That gets us up to $28 a tip so far today. Thank you guys so much. Tom Bone tipped $1 and says, turn your mouth away from the mic when you clear your throat. Common courtesy as an adult. But the thing is, if I do that, all right, let's say I'm clearing my throat and I turn away from the mic. Now my ass is pointed towards the mic. And now I'm just going to rip a fart right into it. So would you rather hear me go and clear my throat? Or would you rather hear a big stinky ripper fart? So that's what you got to weigh in balance when you have these ridiculous requests. Big Sloppy Me to the $1.30 says he learned his lesson. He's ready to come back. That's too bad. It's too bad that it's too little too late because you already supposedly learned your lesson like 3 times in the past and then just came back and did more bad stuff, so you're not coming back. Mom tipped $1. Says domestic violence cases are up during quarantine. Don't be a part of the statistic. Kat and I are not in any situation where we're domestically violent to each other. We love each other very much and would never do that. So don't worry about that. You're never going to be hearing about that kind of stuff happening with us. No worries there. Holy crap. Ladies and gentlemen, BattleDuck 9000 tipped me $100. That is awesome. Thank you very much, BattleDuck 9000. Let's get you up on the leaderboard. And ladies and gentlemen, yes, it is official. That means the vest streak continues. Thank you so much. That's a super duper generous tip. Let me update the goal, or the total here. And that puts us on a vest streak of 23. Wow. I did not even see that come in. I completely missed that when that came in. Thank you, BattleDuck, for that support. And pretty amazing that we're here on pre-stream and already we've far exceeded the tips goal. Thank you guys again. I don't know how long this is going to last, but goddamn, you guys have been so nice to me recently. Thank you so much for that. Okay, continuing on. Gabe Newell. Oh, wait a minute. BattleDuck actually said, let us do a hot lap start with the vest today. He basically wants us to have the vest on right at the start. Well, we will. Gabe Newell to the $1.30 says, I'm doing an update to Steam. I'll be updating it with fresh steamy diarrhea. Oh, my God. See what I mean? Like, I didn't read this one ahead of time. And I thought, oh, maybe this will be something clever or funny. And it wasn't. Instead, it was just like a 4-year-old's humor. So anyway, I don't even know what this means. I don't know what the name means. It seems insulting, so I'm just not going to read it. I'm just going to say thanks for a $5 tip. Good Lord. Let's see here. All Might Phil tipped me $1. So be careful about wearing the vest when you're already overheated. Stream chat encouraging a streamer to do something injurious to their health. Goes against terms of service for self-harm. All right, it's definitely monstrous self-harm. No, it's not. Truth of the matter, guys, here's the deal. I appreciate your contributions, but please understand something. I would not put myself into a situation of self-harm. And I would not put myself into a situation where I feel that me doing something on stream is a detriment to the level of content that I can put out. So if I put on the stream and I wear it for half an hour and I'm like insanely hot, I'm taking it off. The other day I was wearing my cowboy hat while playing Resident Evil 3. And I told you guys, number one, I'm overheated. Number two, I can't hear the game. I took the cowboy hat off. Now, a lot of people stamped their feet and whined and complained like little bitching babies. And I said, tough shit. It's more important about my personal health and about putting out quality content for you on a stream than a stupid gimmick. And I hope you understand that. The truth of the matter is those who are being supportive on the stream understand that and aren't going to give me shit about it. But the shitheads who want to make me basically suffer, they're the ones who are going to be doing stuff like that. So please understand that. And again, yes, I'm absolutely going to wear the vest as a way of saying thank you. But if I'm feeling overheated or whatever and I need to take it off, the fucking thing's coming off and we're just going to play games and have fun. It's not about me risking my personal health because of stupidity. All right? Well, BeastBod now tipped $1.30 and says Snow Carl's been begging for a marathon of Donkey Kong 64 Redemption run. Oh. Very nice. All right, well, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Snow Carl. First of all, there's absolutely no way that I'm doing a full day of Animal Crossing right now. And second of all, there's absolutely no way that I'm going to be doing a redemption run of Donkey Kong 64, Snow Carl. I'm really sorry to be letting you down, as much as I am. I know that, as a content creator, sometimes my choices very much disappoint my viewing audience. I'm very sorry to be letting you down so much recently, Snow Carl. I'm sorry, dude. Okay, so Lunabot tipped me $3 and says, having worked for 4 weeks from home now, I can relate a bit better to your stance on randomly extending streams and stuff like that. It's a slippery slope if you start overworking. Yeah, what you need to do when you either, number one, you own your own business, or number two, you work from home, you need to set boundaries. Because unlike a workplace where it's 9 to 5, clock out by a certain time, get your work done by a certain time, right? It's very different when you're working for yourself and when you're working from home because you don't have those boundaries, And, as much as I enjoy being on stream, I have to have a work-life balance where I have time outside of that. I jump in my office around 10 a.m. every day. Essentially, I'm here till 4 p.m., so that's 6 straight hours. Then I upload for about, 20 minutes or so, 6.5 hours. My late stream, I'm usually in here around 6:30, and I don't get to leave the office till after 9:30. That's another 3 hours. So essentially, you're talking at least, at a minimum, 10 hours of work a day. Now, if I go longer on a stream, if I have stuff I need to put up on social media, if I need to set up stuff ahead of time or whatever, you're talking, upwards of 12 more hours of work a day. I'm always plugged into the internet to know what's going on in regards to games, in regards to what's going on with you guys and everything. So it's hard to unplug, but you need to set those boundaries. When I was younger and I was a full-time YouTuber, there was no boundary. It was, I'm literally playing games and recording all day and uploading as much as I can. That was my life. I sacrificed friendships. I sacrificed opportunities in my life because of that. There's people who I stopped talking to because I had to work. And I haven't talked to them since. I set no boundaries during my YouTube tenure. And it's hilarious to me because people literally say things like, you were a bad friend to John Rambo and you were a bad friend to Howard because all you were about was work, right? Yet people still tell me you should be working more. Why aren't you streaming more? Like, wait, what? So you can't have it both ways. You can't tell me on the one hand that I should have worked less and been a better friend, but then tell me I should be streaming more. And that's how people are. They want everything, personal for themselves, but then they'll tell you something you should have done differently in the past. It's like, it's contradictory. So in reality, there's no right and wrong way to do it. You have to find your own personal balance. For me, I want to put out great streams and I want to stream as much as I can, but at the same time, I have to put limits. If my wife is home, or coming home from work, I want to be there to spend time with her and do stuff with her, not, I'm still stuck on a fucking stream for 3 more hours. See what I mean? I'm already all day. She's home and I can't spend any time with her because I'm on stream. So you got to find that balance. And it's not easy. Like I said, for every job and every person, it's going to be completely different, but it definitely has to be done. It can't just be put everything that you are, every waking piece of you into something that's work and then expect that you're going to have some kind of a normal life. You're not. It's going to be screwed up. So thank you, Lunaba, for the $3 tip. The King G tipped me $20. Thank you to King G for a $20 tip. That is very generous of you. Let's get that to the leaderboard here. And he says, with major releases being delayed, do you have any games in mind to play once you beat the current major releases you're playing? Well, I've already talked about this. There's some things that I missed out on recently. Like there was a Control DLC that I have and I can play. There was a Modern Warfare 2 remaster of the campaign that I could check out. Later this month, there's going to be Trials of Mana. I'm interested in that. And I believe there actually were 1 or 2 other things that people have brought up recently. And I was like, yeah, I'm interested in it. But I didn't have a chance to do it. Outside of that, there's going to be Viewers' Choice events going on that are going to be starting up within a week or 2 here. And there's going to be 2 of those. So that's more stuff. And then on top of that, I'm sure there'll be more. So I've already got all that stuff before I even consider, here's something new that I could just pull out of nowhere. Okay? So, That being said, you know, do I have anything, you know, outside of all that? No, not really. Okay. All right. FL Gibson. Actually, I don't know if FL Gibson's next. Hold on. Oh, yes. FL Gibson did an 80-bit cheer. It's the biggest cheer of the day. So you're worried about your parents during the crisis. I study in a different state from my parents, and I get worried. Of course. I told you guys, I'm very worried. Both of my parents are at risk right now. And I talk to them at least once a week. They know to call me if anything bad is going on to keep me in the loop. And I, you know, I just tell them, do what you got to be safe. You got to wash constantly, you know, keep the house clean, everything. You know, I am very nervous. Very, very nervous. All right. Greater German Realm to me, $1.30 asking if I've gone camping near Treblinka. I don't even know what that means. And the answer is no. I've never actually gone camping at all in my life ever. So, no. But thank you for the tip. Holy Zucchini did a 100-bit cheer. That's the biggest cheer of the day so far. And Holy Zucchini said, what's your opinion on the Final Fantasy VII remake being sold in multiple parts and unban Mr. Ordinary Gamer? I'm not unbanning anyone like that. Excuse me. But, I don't really have an opinion on it yet. Let's play the game. Let's see how I enjoy it. People are saying it's 40 hours long. Does it feel like a real game or does it feel like a disjointed mess because it's just a part of a big game? I don't know. I didn't play it yet. Let's play the game first, make judgments later. Moondog has now cheered, said thanks, and subscribed to the channel. Thank you, Moondog. Atrophied Slob cheered and says, what's your favorite charity to support so I can also support them? No, as I already said, charity is something private. I would never publicly announce that. And by the way, you're full of crap. Timothy W. Dorr did a $1.30 tip. He says, seeing closed and empty places due to COVID, it's like looking at detailed textures of inaccessible buildings and their empty interiors in an open world game. Do you agree with that notion? No. It's a lot sadder than that. Because these are places that I've been in. These are places that I frequented. There's local businesses that I love that probably are gone. Like, I'll give you a perfect example here. There was a place that Kat and I had just discovered about a month before all this started, where we were going to eat, and they had both good breakfast and lunch menu. And it was a local business, locally supported by, you know, it was a good place to go because it wasn't some ginormous chain. The quality of food was great. And now they're closed. And I get the feeling they're done. I don't see how they're going to come back from this. They've been closed for a month. They'll probably be closed for another month. How do you come back from being closed for 2 months and having zero, you know, cash flow in a small business? Most small businesses can't survive that. And that makes me super nervous that, you know, are we ever going to go back to how it was? Maybe not. You may go out there and only the big change survived. Everything else is closed. You know, there may be businesses that never come back from this. And then if we have to do this, you know, 2-3 months at a time, twice a year, what business could survive that? So, you know, it sucks. It makes me super nervous. It does. But that's life. That might be our new life. Who knows? Let's see here. The Villain X did a 500-bit cheer. Thank you very much, Villain X, for a 500-bit cheer. And he says, height. That is the biggest cheer of the day. Let's go ahead and get him up on the leaderboard. Very nice. DRS Wanksta 141 to me $5 says, how come we need a tip scroll to hit vest mode when we already have a clown mode for free? So it's an see what I mean? It's an insulting tip, but it was hard for me to weed that out because it's in the midst of all these other contributions, and it seemed like at first it was a legit question. So I'm just not going to take the bait. I'm just going to say thanks for the $5 tip, stupid. BeastBot tipped me $1.30. He says, do you think you would ever write a book about your career with YouTube and Twitch as a content creator? I think it would be a very good read about how you've overcome detractors and all other drama. Maybe, maybe not. I've only said this a million times over the years. I don't see why anyone would care or why anyone would be interested in a book like that at all. I feel that I am nobody important. I feel that I'm just a gamer who enjoys what he does and shares honesty with you guys every day. And for some reason, that's, you know, resonated with a lot of people, and that's why I'm still as popular as I am. despite the fact that I'm nowhere near as popular as I once was. I don't think that I'm important enough to write a book about. But apparently some other people have been asking or saying this, for a while. So I don't know. Who knows what the future holds, right? Uzi Gohar said, have you ever tried Bumble? I have no idea what Bumble is, so I guess the answer is no. Doodly Dread Cheery says, do you remember when Twitch allowed being shirtless as a male? It sucks they prohibit that. You would have been the number 1 topless male streamer on Twitch. No, I'm not aware that they ever allowed that, nor would I be interested in it anyway. So, so Dante tipped me $5. And he says, this is a typical lose-lose by detractors, and it fits their narrative. Some days you aren't dedicated enough to streaming, but other days you're too dedicated. Yeah, and that's what it is. Like, that's why people say, well, why won't you ever go on a detractor podcast and address all of the things that they talk about? Because there's 0 point to doing it. Because every time I've ever addressed anything that they say or do, they just move the goalpost. Why aren't you dedicated to streaming? Why are you so dedicated to streaming? Right? I answer something legitimately. Oh, well, what about these 500 other things? Okay, I'll address those. Oh, well, here's something new. That's no good. It's like, wait, what? But that's how they are. They always move the goalpost because their narrative is that I'm bad. And if I'm not, then they have nothing to talk about. If they have no one to make fun of, no one to tear down, no one to deride, then they have nothing whatsoever to talk about. Trust me, my personal financial issues this year are the biggest thing, the biggest development for them in years. Because the last really major thing, all right, that they had on me was that hilarious, stupid escort story that it was completely made up. And they ran with that for months and months. And then once that died out, they've been grasping at straws for over a year on trying to say stuff about me. And then it's like, okay, well now, we got him now. Because now, he's in bad financial trouble. So let's talk about that constantly. See what I mean? Like, that's how they are. They grasp at things and they try to, they always move the goal. One thing's over, we got to find something else. Because then what's our narrative about? Nothing, right? It sucks, but that's my life, Really sucks. We Were Kings tipped me $1. It says, ancient Egyptian DNA runs through your veins. Read the Book of the Dead and learn. You're right. I definitely should read that. I got to learn all about that. Okay, then. Thank you for the $1 tip. Anonymous $1. Okay. Here's an actual legitimate criticism. I can't believe I got one, but I got one, and I will read this, and I will respond. He says, you don't need to stream more. You need more substance to your streams. I mean, you've been averaging 3 hours of content on YouTube for a 6-hour stream. That's false completely. That's absolutely false, because I record everything but the musical pre-stream. So if the pre-stream of me talking is an hour to an hour and a half, that's content for YouTube. And that's on YouTube. I upload that every day. And let's say, for example, I only do 3 hours of gameplay, but the pre-stream's an hour and a half long. That's still 4.5 hours of content. Is it gameplay content? No. But a lot of people don't even tune in just for the gameplay content. They're here to hang out with me. They're here to talk with me. That's what it's all about. It's a social experience. That's what I was told when I started streaming on Twitch. Phil, you're doing it wrong. This isn't about just a game. It's a social experience. So now I adapt to make it a social experience. Phil, you're not playing enough of the game. It's just another example of moving the goalpost. It's never good enough for these people, so I don't give a fuck. Okay. So Atrophied Slob cheered, talking about how much money I've made, of course, because probably this is what the detractors do, because they're so jealous that I've been successful in the last 2 weeks with the streak, the vest streak. Tomahawk MCX resubscribed for 6 months, said, wow, thank you very much, Tomahawk, for the resub. Kate just cheered, said, I wonder what movie theaters will show when they open back up. Everything was moved to next year or later. Yeah, I think movie theaters are fucked. You're going to see a lot of movie theaters that are going to be screwed. These are theaters, how are they operating right now? They're making zero money, right? Zero. For months. And then when they open up, you're right, what movies are going to be showing? Nothing. Because no one even knew if and when these things are going to open up again. So how do you plan on when to release your movie? That's what I mean. Like, there's several industries, that I potentially see this may be the end of it. And movie theaters may be one of them. The days of us going to a movie theater to see a premiere may be over. Everything may be digital from now on. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, Let's do some shout-outs to the top cheers of the week. We got Junior Mint 007 in 10th place. A tie between RTU Streams and Sambuca 2020 for 8th place. Snow Carl is in 7th. Crabcock is in 6th. The OG Rascals in 5th. The Villain X is in 4th. So Epic Games is in 3rd. Darkside Carol in 2nd. And Ryan is currently in 1st. Thank all of you for the support this week. Then we've got Subgifters. Thank you very much to the top following people who've gifted subscriptions this week. We've got Sundance McGee, Super Slade, Ryan, and Bookish Awkward, who all gifted a single sub. Death Proof and Cold Zero, who gifted 2 subs each. Big Papa Phil gifted 3 subs. DRS Gangsta gifted 3 subs. Bishop of Mercy gifted 3 subs. And Beast Bod, the top subscription gifter of the week, 4 subs. All right, guys, thank you very much. It is time to end this pre-stream. I will take a brief break to use the restroom. And then we will be back with the premiere Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm very excited to see how this has turned out as a game. And I hope to see you right after the break. Thank you guys, and see you in just a couple minutes.